see with a lot of people, and that's going to be a hip shift, which is a twisting or biasing of the hip towards one side in bilateral exercises like squats and deadlifts, right? So this is pretty common. A lot of us, right, at this point in our life, we're not completely symmetrical anymore. So when we go down into, say, a squat, we may twist into one hip. So it's going to look like this, right? So as I descend into the squat, start to shift my weight into one side right there. So biasing towards the right hip here, just shifting my weight in like that. Just so you're from the rear view, it's a little easier to see, right? So watch as I descend into the squat, get pulled into that right hip a little bit there, a little bit tighter, a little bit of twisting. It can also manifest as you come up here, twisting into that hip as you come out of the bottom of the squat as well. Now the reason that this can be troublesome is that it's going to start to put a lot more pressure on one of the hips, wear it out a little bit, cause some long-term damage, and also weaken the other hip over time. So we want to nip this in the bud as soon as possible. So we're going to use a process like this. We obviously have one side that's a little tighter and stronger and one that's a little weaker. So we need to take the muscles that are a little bit tighter and we need to release and lengthen them, right? We're going to use some myofascial release and a little bit of stretching with, say, a foam roller or a lacrosse ball or baseball. Then we need to activate the muscles on the opposite side that are a little underactive and weak. We're going to use a small mini band like this for that purpose. Finally, we need to integrate that rebalancing into the functional pattern of squat or deadlift, that bilateral exercise. So really simple. We're going to start with the foam roller. If we're shifting into the right hip, say we're going to target the muscles of the glute medius and some of the glute muscles of the piriformis underneath right here with the foam roller. So we're going to come down to the ground. We're going to find this triangle of tissue. We'll call it the top back right glute right here. And we're going to roll back and forth on that for 1 minute here. So this is just the back side of the glute, up angled, almost just above where your jeans pocket would be. We're just going to roll back and forth right there for 1 minute. Then we're going to take the foam roller right to where the bone is, the ischial tuberosity, the bottom of the pelvis there. We're going to roll that out for 1 minute, right? So I'm just going kind of quick here for the purposes of the video, but we're going to spend 1 minute there. Now that we've kind of deactivated those overactive muscles, what we're going to do is we're going to lengthen or stretch them. So I'm going to have you lay on your back. You're going to figure four this ankle over the opposite knee here. You're going to pull this knee to your chest and simultaneously push this knee away right here. We're just going to hold this stretch for 1 to 2 minutes, right? So we're stretching that outer hip complex there for 1 to 2 minutes. Now that we've lengthened those overactive muscles, we need to activate the underactive version on the other side, so that same glute medius. So we're going to take a mini bands here. We're going to go around the shins, just above the knee with the band. Watch out, they pull all your leg hairs out if that's an issue for you. We're going to come down onto the ground, lying on your side, arm underneath. You can use your fist to make a pillow over your head. We're going to tilt our hips forward, so push your hips forward away from you. Knees are going to be bent at 45 degrees. Hands are going to go on that muscle we're trying to work, that glute medius here. We're going to put it right behind that back pocket, and then we're going to open like a clamshell opening reverse. Hold for a 2 count, 1, 2, and then descend for a 3 count. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're going to open, up, hold, 3, 2, 1, and again, hold, 3, 2, 1. And I want you to give me 2 sets of 10 reps on that side. So up, holding, and then come down slow. As you start to get stronger, you can do a slower eccentric or lower phase, maybe 5 seconds, or you can use a more intense band, right? So we lengthened and inhibited the muscles that are overactive. We activated and strengthened the ones that needed work. Now we're going to integrate them into the functional pattern of the squat that we had the hip shifted. So we're going to keep this band up. We're going to come up to our standing position and assume our squat stance. Now our brain has to relearn the pattern to prevent the hip shifts, so we're going to go slow through this as well. So I want you to descend under 3 seconds of time, and then also ascend over 3 seconds of time. So down slow, pause, and up slow. So we're going to assume our squat stance, driving out against the band, bracing here, sitting back, 3, 2, and 1, holding, and then coming up, very important, come up slow, 3, 2, 1, right there, making sure balance. So here, down, back, pushing against the band, 3, 2, 1, holding, 3, 2, 1, on the way back up. And I can even feel this is a pretty intense brand new band under the pack. work that it's doing. And again, we're going to reintegrate that. We want to do 2 sets of 10 with that same 3 down, pause, 3 up tempo. As you start to get stronger, keep the band on, load this up with a kettlebell or a dumbbell for a goblet squat. Now, if you're having the shift or noticing it, you want to diagnose it. Very easy way, just like I did. Set up a camera directly behind you in that back profile. Record yourself. The side that shows less of your thigh as you descend into the bottom of the squat. If you're biasing to the right, on the video, you'll see less of the right side. That shows you you're shifting into the right. Or if your butt on the video starts to cover the calf on one side more than the other, that's the shifting side. So you're going to lengthen that side, right? Foam roll, stretch, and you're going to strengthen the other side. Throw the band on, hit the squats, use a kettlebell if you like to load it up a little bit heavier. You're going to want to do this at least 3 to 4 times per week, right? Or if you're going to squat in a workout or do squat type movements or deadlift movements, bilateral leg movements, you want to make sure that you include this in your prep work or your warm-up for that workout as well. So guys, I hope this helped. Please feel free to reach out with any questions if you have hip shift. If you have serious hip pain, you want to make sure that you're taking care of that as quickly as possible. So this would be before you get into pain if you just notice the hip shift. If you're actually already experiencing pain, you need to make sure that you reach out to a physical therapist or a chiropractor, somebody who's more equipped to do that, maybe get some imaging done on it as well. So we always will call this the yellow light, right? The red light would be pain. We want to nip this in the bud before we get to the red light. So again, if you found this helpful, please feel free to reach out with any questions.